Welcome to the Tea Tie Pod, where we normally take off our ties, offer our guests some tea, let them relax a little bit, and let us know what makes them tick in Angola, across the continent of Africa, and beyond. I'm your host, KD, and I'm here with my co-host, and a special co-host,
Helena Ignace.
and we are at the African Union Summit, the third edition on financing infrastructure development in Africa, which is key in order for Africa to grow. And we've been speaking to various individuals, specialists, government bodies, everyone, just to see what are they really getting from this summit. And now we are stepping out of Angola and going across to West Africa. And we are here with Mr. Kitch. And sir, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, KB. It's a pleasure to be here. It's my first time in Angola, and I'm happy to meet your wonderful team.
Thank you, sir.
I am Kitch Bawa, as you rightly said, and I work from Dakar, Senegal, as the Executive Secretary of the Pan-Africa Association of Sanitation Actors.
Okay.
And it's called PASA. In French, it's called Association Panafricaine des Acteurs de Sanissement, APA. And PASA is a network of private sector enterprises that are organized into national associations across 31 countries. According to our strategy, by 2027, we target to bring in 35 countries.
Okay.
And within the next couple of years, until 2030, we will hopefully have 45. So they are organized into national associations, which creates a platform for them to learn from one another, to access credit, to engage with government, to influence policy, and overall, ultimately, to deliver better sanitation services. But it will not be complete, the introduction will not be complete if I don't mention that in Africa, 80% of the people who have access to sanitation do not connect to network services.
They're solo.
Yes, they are solo, autonomous, they have a toilet, they have a pipe that goes into a tank.
Okay.
So all of that service, to install that, is done by private operators.
Yeah.
Then, when the tank is full, it needs to be emptied and transported. It's done by private operators. When it's transported, it's emptied and transported, it needs to be treated or safely disposed or reused. It's all done by private operators. So PASA is made up of very important stakeholders who are often, unfortunately, marginalized in many countries. In the rest of, probably even in some of the 31 countries, where it's still a work in progress, but we have, among the 31, we have countries where the engagement is very vibrant. There's a public-private partnership that works very well, where the private sector brings its capital, apart from even the PASA members, big investors, they bring in their capital, commercial banks, they lend to our members, and they provide services and make profit and pay back.
Okay. We had a question on that. I would like to know, how do investors, private investors, get the return on such investments? Like, how do you transform waste into monetize that waste?
Very interesting question. The panel I was on today was about that. So two ways to value the services of PASA members and to get return from sanitation. Probably three ways. There's a World Bank report that says, that proves that if you invest $1, you get $7 in return, directly and indirectly.
Oh, no, sorry. If you invest
$1 in sanitation services,
you get seven.
yes, in
We're
return.
talking about the whole chain, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
But specifically to respond to your question, the return on investment comes in many ways.
Okay.
So, first of all, let me look at the value chain. There's a value chain that starts from containment, where you have the unit where all of us sit and do the big and the small. Then the next step is the emptying.
Okay.
After that is the transportation, and then
Storage.
treatment, reuse, and disposal, or safe disposal or reuse. So along that value chain, first return on investment from emptying and transport. If you invest, a commercial bank in Senegal invested money to buy 40 new trucks for emptying.
Sorry, how many?
40 new trucks for emptying. And the contract is a number of years that's been calculated that they will be able to return money every day with a little interest for the commercial bank for a couple of years. I don't remember exactly the number of years, but you see a return on investment in emptying and transport. So they empty, they get paid.
Okay.
They take it to a treatment plant. It is treated for energy or agricultural purposes. They sell the products, they get money. They are able to pay back the loan. That is on one side. Then if you invest in treatment, but most huge capital investment goes mainly in the infrastructure for treatment.
Okay.
So if you invest in treatment, there are several ways that the return comes back. First of all, every emptying truck that dumps the sludge in your treatment plant pays for
Right.
yes. And then you treat, and most of the treatment approaches are not energy intensive, they are not capital intensive. So they utilize solar energy and other less capital intensive approaches. So when they treat, you convert the circular economy. They contribute to the circular economy by reusing the products for energy generation, for agricultural purposes, in terms of organic fertilizers, but also feeds for the fish you eat and poultry. Yes, so return on investment comes from that.
Nothing but.
But the biggest return on investment, which is non-monetary, which of course can be monetized and calculated and has been done by the World Bank, the Sanitation and Hygiene Fund, and other organizations, is the social good. We talked yesterday about the smell.
Yeah,
if you don't organize the sector and get all of these things sorted out, the disease burden that you reduce, it's a huge return on investment for the entire society. Yeah.
So it's so coming back to the conference right now, like you've been on a panel, which is interesting to hear, but what are you getting out of being in this summit, and what message are you giving out to the members of the AU?
So I got many things from this summit. If I list them, we may not have time for another podcast.
No, let's pick
but I'll pick a few. Let me start with Copia.
Okay.
I think getting to know what Copia does with technology is really mind-blowing for me. If I didn't come here, I wouldn't know about it. And I hope that we will be able... I see potential for PASA, my organization, to partner with Copia, to use technology to map the flow of fecal sludge in cities and how treatment facilities and infrastructure are managed. I see a huge potential for that, and I hope we'll be able to do that. And I think the technology that Copia has, from my discussion with you, with the team, and with the CEO, I think there's room to use the technology here to map the sewage networks and track leakages and see how that can be responded to in real time before they become dangerous. That's one. Number two,
Essentially a great necessity on that.
Yeah, especially here in Angola.
yes, exactly, and every country.
Everywhere,
actually.
everywhere, yeah.
And the second one is I was invited by NEPAD, by the AU, as the for your information, we're the only sanitation-focused continental organization in the whole continent. So yes,
That's surprising.
exactly. You see how sanitation is not really been
Take it into
privatized.
consideration,
Exactly.
especially when talking on the subjects of infrastructure, like where's that part, essential part, like the
I think, just stepping in quickly, sorry. When I look at, well, I would say my background is infrastructure, but I come from a background of urban planning. And when I look at how infrastructure is planned within Africa, sanitation is secondary.
Yeah.
Sanitation is never, the first thing you look at is, okay, do you know what? We're putting this in place. How do we deal with waste afterwards? That they always look at afterwards. You build, and afterwards, like, okay, now we need to put infrastructure in place to deal with it, with waste.
in 15 years, and it comes back again. We're celebrating 50 years of Angola independence. Angola is no longer what it used to be 50 years.
Definitely.
Demographic change, it grew exponentially, and it is the same case as the other African countries, right? So as we grow exponentially, are we building infrastructure just on top of that, or do we need to remodel all the systems?
Restart and
Start creating. And in the case of Rwanda, it just grew exponentially outside the outskirts of the downtown. And you still have those problems of houses being built, they are not connected to a proper sewage.
Exactly.
No? And you have still all other issues related to the open fields, lands with trash. People got exposed onto sickness and all kinds of disease, and we should look at it as how to monetize that, how we turn from waste to riches, like how societies. Even companies, you already mentioned about how companies can get revenue from it, the investors can get the return on investment. But the biggest investment comes back again when we talk about the people, the society, right? And so we need to, the association, we pray that it grows.
Yeah, we hope it
people.
improves. And
Hopefully.
as you said before, it'll be great when Angola jumps into this association to move things forward, because it is needed. I've had the opportunity to work across with certain NGOs within Angola, and every time we talk about WASH, that's one of the things that we look at is, okay, sanitation, what is it really all about? How do we deal with it? And Angola is interesting, because when you look at sanitation in Rwanda, it's very different from sanitation in Wambu. How they do sanitation there, right?
Yeah.
How they look at it in Kunene or Cross is different. So having this association where all the different associations in each of the provinces come together,
It's a great idea.
that's where it's key. And one of the things that we've been looking at while we've been within this conference is how do we do collaboration?
Yeah.
And having an association like this, I believe that's where that comes in.
Absolutely. So before I continue with the benefits I got from here, is also to talk about the sanitation in Rwanda. I think when I saw the trucks coming to empty the sludge and the pee that this population has generated, I was rushing to talk to them, but I realized they may not speak English.
Yeah.
So the question that we need to find out is, all the hundreds of people that are here, after they leave, what we eat and generate and pass out here, where does it end up? So we need to find that out after this conference. But then I was talking about the benefits of this conference to me. I think the biggest huge benefit is also I was asked to come and present a project by the AU. And I was able to discuss, I have 2 projects in mind. One is called the Africa Resilient, Inclusive and Sustainable Sanitation Enterprises Program, where we plan to help to have a project that will build the capacity of private operators and enterprises working in sanitation to deliver better services. Then we set up an innovator fund. With that innovator fund, which is seed capital, we will attract private funding that will help these operators to build their capacity to deliver, to scale up. So we target only 100 companies across 20 countries. And we got interest from investors who want to invest in our organization. One of the investors, for instance, wanted to build a treatment plant, and we had to walk through how the return on investment will come. And then the other is the project on using artificial intelligence and science and technology to map, the flow of fecal slugs and fecal slug management services and operation and maintenance of the infrastructure. So I think this conference has been very, very beneficial for me.
That's great to hear.
And I realized that if I was not here, there will be no one with a sanitation project. Out of 8 projects that were presented the day before yesterday,
Yeah.
there was only one sanitation project.
And that was your one.
That was mine.
That's very interesting.
I have a quick question. Since this is the third summit, my question is, have you participated before? And the 2 previous summits, have you participated? If yes, what differences can you say, or what impact or outcome from the previous and this summit?
Yeah, I haven't participated in the past conferences.
Okay.
I know I have known about the past conferences, but I think that I can comment on the previous the outcomes of previous conferences, but I feel that I used to work in a space where we monitor some key governance pillars, finance, policy, monitoring, regulation, and reuse, mainly on sanitation. I think in our findings, we monitor when African governments commit to say we will improve on those key areas. The most backward is finance. The most backward is finance, followed by capacity. And they are tied like this, because if you don't build capacity, even if you have finance, you waste it.
Exactly.
So I think that for me, this is the most interesting conference that Africa should focus on. I used to organize the Africa Water Week, African Sanitation Conference, and I've participated in coordinating the sector, working with the AU. But I think we've done a lot of the others. We've done policy, we've done capacity, we've done monitoring. We need to focus on how we mobilize finance to improve services. So this conference is very important, and I hope that we build on it and look at how we mobilize resources within Africa.
Okay. So now you finished this conference, and we're looking at potentially for the next one. We hope to be in the next one.
Yeah.
And we hope to see there where we look at, how things have developed from now to then. As you said, you haven't participated in the previous ones. So it'll be interesting to see how growth takes place between now and the next one. So I know we've cut short because of time. I know we have a lot of people as well that want to speak as well. And of course, when next you're in the country as well, we'd love to sit down with you as well and going deeper. And I know there's been discussion already with yourself and the CEO of Copia. And I believe that the partnership will continue.
I look forward to that.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And to our audience, as usual, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the T-Type Pod. Subscribe as well to Copy a Group of Companies, to the AU, and continue to watch this space as further things are developed. And this is us. So thanks to
Ellie.
thanks to,
Helena.
and thanks to our guests.
Thank you very much.
See you next time. See you soon. Thank you so much.